night. I am Batman!
People used to say that comic books were just for kids. These days, playing a superhero on the big screen is an actor's one-way ticket to superstardom, and there aren't many heroes more beloved than Batman. The Dark Knight is set to go from a movie superhero to a Justice League universe star, but not every actor to put on Batman's cowl ended up a hit, and one of the most influential men to tackle the role never appeared on film at all. Everyone has their favorites, so make sure you let us know yours in the comments below. Here is Screen Rant's look at Batman, the actors who played him best.
Prepare Batcopter for immediate takeoff.
Adam West. Not every version of Bruce Wayne is shrouded in darkness. In fact, Adam West's starring role in the original 1960s Batman TV show wasn't just campy, it was more profitable and popular than even modern superhero films could hope for. After comics declined during the 1950s, West's Technicolor take on the hero had entire families glued to their TV sets. Parents watched the insane hijinks of West's Caped Crusader and the zany villains with a smirk. The kids, on the other hand, took every threat and villain completely seriously, just like the show's hero. In a time when superheroes were anything but cool, West was able to take part in absurd storylines without being in on the joke himself, and the fans loved him for it. Lots of modern comedy stars could learn a lesson from that. Michael Keaton. 2 decades after West hung up the cape, comic fans thought Tim Burton and Michael Keaton were giving them another dose of camp with 1989's Batman. Instead, they created a version of Batman who was funny and terrifying. Even if he was better known for his comedy chops, Keaton perfectly captured the tortured, isolated side of Bruce Wayne, but was playful enough to make the movie fun, not grim. Jack Nicholson's Joker gave him a towering villain to match, and even without Robin by his side, Keaton was the first actor to win a Bat sequel. Comic fans had sent 50,000 protest letters to the studio when he was cast, but it was Keaton who got the last laugh. He'll be remembered as the definitive Batman for entire generations. Val Kilmer. Burton and Keaton were impossible acts to follow, but director Joel Schumacher and star Val Kilmer tried their best. With Batman Forever, most of the twisted humor turned into out-of-place, cheesy gags, and most fans gave up hope after one look at the Batsuit's new nipples. Kilmer apparently butted heads with the crew and the director on set, but critics agreed that his playboy persona as Bruce Wayne was convincing. In fact, Batman creator Bob Kane said Kilmer was the closest he'd seen any actor come to his own idea of the hero. In the end, the movie's villains were more memorable than the hero, and Kilmer showed that playing Batman on film relied on a lot more than brooding in a rubber suit. George Clooney. After Val Kilmer passed on Batman and Robin, the studio turned to the one actor who embodied Bruce Wayne's charm and good looks more than any man on the planet. George Clooney's casting made sense. He landed the part right before he became a Hollywood icon, but trying to recreate the camp of the 1960s TV show, making sure Batman and Robin were in on every joke, was a total failure.
$5 million.
That's a utility belt, not a money belt. $6 million.
$7 million.
The dialogue, the action, and the villains might be considered so bad they're good, but Clooney has publicly stated he regrets doing the film. He even apologized to fans for ruining the Batman movie series. But let's be real, George doesn't deserve all the blame. There's no denying he's as close as any actor can get to the super rich ladies' man comic fans have loved for decades. Christian Bale. By 2005, comic fans and movie audiences everywhere wanted to see Batman taken seriously. Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins introduced a darker, more realistic version of Bruce Wayne than any we'd seen before, and Christian Bale was the only man able to bring the character to life. Bale trained in martial arts and packed on muscle to make sure he looked the part of a superhero, and tapped into a darker, angrier side for the hero that no other actor ever tried to touch. He still had a sense of humor, but it was the drama and tension that helped the sequel cross the $1 billion mark at the box office. Fans can debate the tone, the villains, and Bale's one-of-a-kind bat voice, but the actor's trilogy of performances mean for millions of fans, he'll always be the Batman. Kevin Conroy. Who says you need to be seen to make your mark on The Dark Knight? Looking back, it's hard to believe Warner Brothers was on board with a cartoon aimed at an adult audience. They even chose a film noir-influenced art style for Batman the Animated Series. But the writers made sure the stories were polished, and actor Kevin Conroy provided a voice for Batman that no fan will ever forget. It was Conroy who realized that Bruce Wayne should be the performance, not Batman, and his voices for each character were an instant hit. The actor became the go-to voice for Batman in animated TV, movies, and the award-winning Arkham game series. To this day, the cartoon is hailed as one of the greatest Batman properties ever created. And with more than 2 decades voicing the hero, it's safe to say Conroy's place in Batman history is guaranteed. Which of these Batman actors do you think will stand the test of time? Do the directors and supporting cast deserve some of the credit? Or did one of these actors nail the part better than any other? Share your own favorites in our comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out other Screen Rant videos like this one.
We've already determined that the Justice League could probably take on the Avengers in the first of our Marvel vs. DC series, but how do their villains match up? Like the heroes, most villains have a near equivalent in each the Marvel and DC universes. So which is the most dangerous universe to live in? To determine this, we thought we'd see how some of the film's most famous villains would fare mano a mano. Green Goblin vs. Joker. The Joker and the Green Goblin can often be seen sporting the same maniacal grin on their faces. Both insane in their own right, the Joker definitely takes the crazy cake. But the Green Goblin's superpowers and deadly gadgets give him the edge here. Let's face it, the only reason the super powerless Joker is still alive is because Batman refuses to kill him.
Bingo.
And you can be sure the Green Goblin would not extend him the same courtesy. Loki vs. Zod. It would be a battle of gods and aliens if General Zod were to take on the Norse god of mischief himself. As a Kryptonian, Zod has most of the same powers Superman has: super strength, speed, X-ray vision, and a whole bunch of other badass abilities. As a god and member of the Frost Giants race, Loki has many of the same powers as his adopted brother Thor. Whereas Zod is more military-minded, Loki's mastering of magic and other trickery would likely outsmart Zod's maneuvers, making this another win for Marvel's miscreants. Magneto vs. Lex Luthor. On paper, there's not much similar about Lex Luthor and Magneto.
Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
One was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and the other was a Holocaust survivor. Yet they've both risen as two of the most formidable villains in their respective universes. While Magneto could easily remove that silver spoon from Lex's mouth and turn any armor Lex uses to protect his very human body into a liability,
Bring it on!
the smartest man in the world could surely find a way around Magneto's single power of controlling metal.
You're not seeing the big picture here, Miss Lane.
As an evil genius, Lex doesn't need guns or traditional man-made weapons that would never work on Magneto, but could probably think of a dozen other ways to take down the X-Men's fiercest foe, giving DC their first win.
I love it!
Apocalypse vs. Doomsday. Here's a truly epic matchup that would make Batman vs. Superman look like a schoolyard shoving match. If Doomsday ever got on Apocalypse's bad side, it could literally mean the end of days for everyone. Both of these villains are able to adapt to whatever you throw at them, making them practically invincible, and in the case of Apocalypse, immortal. Doomsday does get bragging rights for killing Superman, but we're gonna err on the side of caution here and just call this one a draw. Whiplash vs. Bane. Neither Bane nor Whiplash possess any supernatural abilities, but both have the brains and brawn usually limited to bodybuilders and scientists. Both are pretty logical, so perhaps they try to talk things out first. But with Bane's mask and Whiplash's broken English, they probably wouldn't get very far. Even with Whiplash's mastering of Tony Stark's Iron Man tech, he was still unable to get very close to taking down the hero. Yet Bane literally broke Batman, so we're gonna have to give this one to Bane. Mystique vs. Harley Quinn. With the count tied at 2 each and 1 draw, we're bringing out the villainous ladies for the tiebreaker. Don't be fooled by their looks. Mystique and Harley Quinn are both as ruthless as any evildoer in either universe, and don't hesitate to kill anyone in their path. Quinn does have one major Achilles heel, which is her dedication to the Joker. And with Mystique's shape-shifting abilities, it wouldn't be hard for her to pose as the Joker to get close to Quinn. Once again, superpowers trumps no powers, and we'll have to give this one to Marvel's Mystique. So while DC is considered the darker universe, it would seem that Marvel actually has deadlier villains. We're basing this mostly on the movies, so perhaps Suicide Squad will tilt things in DC's favor. But for now, it would seem Gotham and Metropolis are safer places to live than anywhere in the MCU. Perhaps the Justice League isn't stronger than the Avengers after all, they just have an easier job. Sound off in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more fun videos like this one.